Hi, how are you? We are the Girls with Apps talk show. I am Isabel Rasmussen, the co-creator of the iPhone application Beauty Mirror. And
I'm Emily Maples, and I am the co-creator of Emily's Girl Talk.
And the reason why we wanted to do a talk show is because we know a lot of girls or tween girls have questions about different things, and maybe they're questions that they're not comfortable with asking their mom, or maybe their girlfriends don't always have the best advice because they haven't gone through those experiences yet. So we wanted to answer some of the questions, and part of the reason why we do that is because of what Emily does. Did you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, part of Emily's Girl Talk, there's a blog, and in the blog a bunch of our fans ranging between 8, 13, all the way to 16, they have just questions based on their lives that we try to answer at, what we know in our lives that we've experienced, and just help tween and young ladies get through this kind of hard or complicated part of their life.
Is how old should a girl be for her first real kiss?
And I think Isabel has a great story to tell us, and just ideas on how that, and she can answer that.
So I would say that I was probably too young for my first real kiss. And one of the boys, let's see, when I was in 8th grade, I think I was 14, and I met a boy at the mall, and I didn't know at the time that he was 19. So one of the things that I would recommend about kissing boys is that you don't kiss boys that are more than 3 years older than you. So it was a mistake that I kissed a boy who was that much older than me. And one of the reasons is because then you start hanging out and doing things that really a girl in junior high shouldn't be doing. So with him, I went to a dance club. And I brought my best friend, and he brought his friends, and my best friend ended up kissing one of his friends. And another rule, I think, is not to kiss a boy who's not your boyfriend. That you need to take the time to get to know them and have them decide that you're the only girl that they want to be holding hands with or kissing. Because this boy had a girlfriend we found out about, and then we thought, being nice, good people, that we would let her know that he had kissed our friend. And instead of her being upset with her boyfriend, she got upset with my friend, which I learned as I got older became a very common reaction that girls have. And so she wanted to fight my best friend. So she came to our school, and they fought, and then her best friend decided that she wanted to fight me, and there was nothing I could do about it. So then we fought, and she was in a gang, and she continued to show up at my school looking for me with a bat. So, you wouldn't ever think that going out with an older boy, or, your friend kissing a boy who's not her boyfriend, will result in a girl following you with a bat, but that's what happened to me. And unfortunately, as a result of that, I felt like I needed to do a better kind of protect myself. So I started hanging out with, I grew up in San Francisco, California, and there was a neighborhood gang. So I started hanging out with some of the girls who hung out with the boys in the neighborhood gang. And what happened then, I started dating or going out with one of the boys in the neighborhood gang. We went out for a couple weeks, and then we stopped going out, and then he was upset about something, and a group of my friends told me to come outside, and I went outside and went around the corner, and what he had planned was that all of them would beat me up. Fortunately, that didn't happen. I didn't end up in the hospital, which some of my friends had things like that happen to them when we were in junior high. But he did slap me across the face. And he was the, kind of one of the most feared guys in the neighborhood. So one of the other tips that I have around kissing is don't kiss a boy who is a bad boy. Don't ever kiss him as old as you get, because they do things like that. Like, that was really scary for me at any age to have been hit in the face by a boy. So those are, some examples of tips from my own life, why I think it's really important. It's important to think about what age you are when you first kiss a boy, but it's also really important to think about the boy that you decide to kiss. So I wrote 5 tips on that. So the type of boys to not kiss. The most popular boy is the boy who's normally already kissed lots of girls. He's a really good boy to avoid kissing. And you can watch all the problems that your friends have if they do kiss that popular boy, what happens. So the boy who makes fun of and teases everyone. Do not kiss a boy who's called you a bad name or made fun of you in the past, because he's most likely going to call you a bad name and make fun of you after you kiss him. The bad boy, as I gave an example, avoid him for the rest of your life. 2 more. A boy who is not your boyfriend. Make sure it is someone who likes you a lot and respects you enough to decide that you are the only girl he wants to hold hands with. And lastly, a boy who is more than 3 years older than you. So if you're 12, don't kiss a boy who's 15. So that was our first question, and now we're going to go to the second question.
Yes. First of all, that was a great set of rules. I like the story. I don't like the story, but it was a good personal story.
Yeah. It's one that I hope by telling all of you that you avoid.